Okay, guys, welcome back. So, to kick this stream off, I'm going to tell you a little bit of story. Alright, so, I left the house after dinner around about 6:50, and I went to the dollar store, hoping they'd have some kind of cheap magnifying glass for this project. The do-it-yourself projectors, as far as I've seen, is basically just take your cell phone, and then put it in a box so all the light is going in one direction, and then in the front, put a magnifying glass. And then you can adjust the focal length by moving the cell phone, or in this case, we're going to move the lens back and forth. So that's the plan for today. I went out looking for a cheap magnifying glass. Dollar store didn't have one. I was also looking for a couple other things at the dollar store that I've been meaning to pick up. Didn't have any of that stuff either. Went to a different dollar store that was down this, in the same strip mall as a Five Below. Neither of those had them. Decided between the dollar store and the Five Below, and I'm blitzing through this really quick because it is way later than I want it to be, but there was a thrift store. Decided to stop in there too because there was something that I had been wanting to get at a thrift store, and I was just like, you know what? It's right here. May as well stop in for 15 minutes. Spent 15 minutes in there assuming that Five Below would have the magnifying glass after the second dollar store didn't have it. Did not happen. So, there was also a Staples next door to the Five Below. Did a quick price check on that. They were like way more expensive than I wanted to pay. So, did a quick Google search. Ended up with Walmart and said, okay, fine. Walmart's 10 minutes down the road. We'll go down there. Meanwhile, we are now at like 8:10ish, So I've been out for over an hour at this point, in between traveling and going to all these different stores. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Walmart, hit it, be done. 10 minutes down the road, 10 to 15 minutes home, 5 minutes in the store, hopefully. Got another 25 minutes, maybe 30, depending on what happens. Bit later than I wanted to be, but it'll be all right. Get halfway to Walmart and see Walgreens. I was like, wait a second. Old people shop at Walgreens and CVS and whatnot. I probably should have tried that first. Hop into the turning lane. Really quick Google their prices. To see if they even have the magnifying glass to begin with. They do. It's actually 50 cents more than than Walmart. But I'm like, you know what? Saves me 4 more minutes driving up the road to Walmart. I'll take it. No big deal. I'll pay the extra 50 cents to save myself 4 minutes. Get in, check out with this one, and find out that the prices online do not reflect the prices in the store. So, unfortunately, this one ended up being $10.50 instead of $6 online, and that made me really upset. I considered my options, decided, you know what? We're just going to go ahead and we're going to go to Walmart anyway. I'll return this at some other point. There's a Walgreens right around the corner from my house. Had I thought of this earlier, I could have tried the CVS around my house as well. Did not think of it, but got to Walmart. It was $5.50. I was like, this is great. I'll take it. It sucks that I was out that much, but that was the story of my life. Of my night, rather. So, anyway, to do this a little bit more in depth here. Oh, and I guess the moral of that story is, if you're looking for something old people use, try CVS or Walgreens first. Obviously, Walgreens totally ripped me off, so don't try that necessarily. I'm not going to endorse that. But Rite Aid, maybe. CVS or Rite Aid would have been another good place to check for it. I had considered going to a grocery store, but I figured it would take me longer to find it inside of a grocery store than stopping by Walmart. That's at that point that I decided, or that occurred to me to try a grocery store. That's another option. So if you're looking for a magnifying glass to do this project, at the very least Walmart, again, $5.50, not bad. Was not the less than $5 that I was hoping to get at the Five Below or the dollar store. Again, dollar store now carries items above $1 for the record. Anyway, those are your options in case you go looking for one of them. Walmart, $5.50, at least in my area. And then otherwise, CVS, Rite Aid may be a good place to check. So, with this project, normally the super simple DIY version is to put it into a shoebox. I do have a shoebox available that I could use, but I figured I may as well just do this properly. Well, properly, this is still a DIY thing. But what we're going to do is I'm going to use my 5/16 rods. I'm also going to leave the door open to use extrusion, but it makes more sense to use 5/16 rods. So we'll have these set up in an array like this, just a square. I'm going to have a back plate to hold the phone and also hold the rods. So rods will go into back plate. Back plate will also have a clamp to hold the phone. And then on the rods, so that we can change the focal length of the projector, will be the lens. And that will just have four little riders, four little, what do you call them? Four little connection points for the extrusion. And I'm also considering putting hinges in between here, because I don't know 100% sure because I've never made one of these before, but I think there may be a possibility where we can have the phone, phone, and then our box. I just didn't want as much in the way, that's why I'm drawing it over here. And then the magnifying glass at an angle. I'm not 100% sure that this works, but if we can, that way the light goes this way and then refracts in a different direction. This seems like an interesting idea to me. So we may put hinges on these round parts. That may be something I add later. Again, I wanted to have this stream started by 8. It is now nearly 9. Let's double check that. So yeah, nearly 9. 5 of 9. So it is getting quite late for me. Relatively late for me. You know, again, I want to have this done a lot earlier. So hinges are not a priority. Holding the lens in place, because at current, my plan is to mount this overhead and go onto my workbench at work. That's what I need this for. Like that. So the little riders that the magnifying glass will be on, I want to put set screws in to hold it in place. So that is the plan. One of these situations where if I don't put the hinges in, then we actually only need, like, let's say 2 set screws. We could put all 4 in, but I would only really need to put 2 in to make sure that it's relatively straight and stable, just opposing corners, and not sliding down. I may even be able to get away with 1, but 2 seems like a reasonable minimum. So that is the plan for design. We are now, also, I think I color corrected and did the exposure right, but I had unplugged my camera. So if anything looks a bit off from previous streams, I don't think they do. I think it's about right, but in between my camera being unplugged and the settings getting reset, and this light over here, the hinge on it is actually gone. So it is literally staring straight down at the table instead of a bit at an angle like this one over here. That one over there. So that is the situation we're in right now. And we are 8 minutes into the stream, and we're finally ready to start designing. So let me move my stream off of the screen you're about to stare at when I switch over to Fusion. And here is, okay, that is not Fusion evidently. Desktop not available. Great. Desktop. Shoot, I sure hope this is desktop too. All right, cool. It's desktop too. Oh, actually, you know what? I had the streaming software up anyway. You wouldn't be able to see my, what do you call it? My streamer console. You would have just seen the stream preview. No problems. All right. Now I can turn off those overhead lights because we won't be coming back to the desktop, and we can get to designing. So let's just start with the rods really quick. Seems easy enough for, actually, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't. I should probably figure out how big I need to make the back plate in order to house the cell phone. That is actually probably a more reasonable place. So, in this situation, I'm going to be using my backup phone for this because I will be recording with my normal phone. However, I want to use the dimensions off my normal phone just in case in the future I want to use the full-size phone. And also so that if you want to use a full-size phone, you can. I could look this up on our recent cell phone holder design, but I am lazy. I'm going to call this 160 by 90. I'm making round numbers just in case you go to double check me. Those are not accurate numbers. They are round numbers. That is kind of the minimum we need in order to, or that's kind of the rounded up version to make sure that we're covering the cell phone. So, cell phone front, there it is. Go ahead and toss that in there. And as I mentioned, I will leave the door open to do this with extrusion. However, we will not be designing that this stream. It is one of those things where extrusion, yeah, I did say 90, okay. Extrusion might be more available for people. For the record, I said 5/16 rods, right? That's what I have because I get them for free out of the scrap pile, but 5/16 is basically 8mm. It's a little under 8mm. So for this specific set of STLs, all you would have to do is just drill out the holes to 8mm in order to get them to the desired diameter. So I'm going to call this 12.5 on thickness. So that's our cell phone. Black plastic. Plastic. Where's plastic? Glossy. Black. And then we switch over to face. And toss the screen in there. Or LED, I guess. There we go. Didn't they have... Oh, there it is. I was going to say, I thought there was another option for that. Oh, I was on the back end. So, good thing it did not take. Huh. That is funny. I've done... Oh, it's not downloaded for some reason. I know I've done this before. For example, on our phone holder, I put the screen on there. Huh, okay. Display. Do I have a display? Okay, there we go. LCDs. Excellent. Whoops, that is not the face, though. Face. Display. LCD. There we go. All right. Upside down, but we'll live with it. So, that is that. We can go back to the back plate. Actually. One other thing to mention. I'm assuming that it's normally inside a box in order to direct the light. I have these cloth napkins that I was using for recording videos for placing objects on just to make the display nicer when I was doing the product displays in my earlier videos. I just plan on using those to wrap around the rods here. It's one of those things. However you want to enclose the rods here is entirely up to you. And also, the nice thing about cloth is that since we're sliding the lens back and forth, so long as you fully encase it in cloth, the cloth will just crumple up. And, you know, it's cool. It's cool. It's fine. What I'm basically saying is that the cloth can be attached to the front lens and the back plate. And as it gets shorter, the cloth just crumples up. That's the idea. I could have said that in a better way, but you know. That being said, I don't know if it will get in the way. Like if it will droop down on top. It obviously won't drip down on the bottom. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Normally those kind of things have a wire frame in order to keep them in place. And then the wire frame slides back and forth with the cloth. But anyway, that's all speculation at the moment. We need to get this done. So, I will... Let's see, how much space do we want to give ourselves for... Actually, better question. What is the size difference? Alright, so... The magnifying glass that I've got here is a 3.5 inch, I believe. My calipers are saying something like 96 millimeters. So if we, in theory, call this about 100 millimeters, and I was thinking of doing some kind of clamping mechanism for the magnifying glass, so that in that case we can make it adjustable to accept different sizes. It is a little bit tricky though, because most clamping mechanisms are biased towards one direction, and for that reason it may be a little bit, it may not work out as intended, unfortunately. So that may be something I have to change from my original concept, but lens, or I guess I should call this lens plate, because I planned on, and that is a smiley face, I planned on mounting it onto a plate, which then would attach to the rods. Oh no, I didn't. That's right. I was going to do a plate and then the hinges. So actually it's a question of whether or not, how exactly that should be designed. I guess Alright, so again, I need this printed by tomorrow morning, and it is quite late. For right now, I'm just going to do a lens plate. We may revisit this or otherwise when I go to release the STLs in the near future. I will have included the hinged version. But for right now, since I don't know that I necessarily have the time to do the hinges, I'm going to go ahead and skip them. And actually, now that I'm thinking about that, if I want, this should probably be lens assembly, and then I can do a lens plate, put it below that is probably the best idea here. In that case, that being the case, that way the lens can be separate. So there's the lens, and now lens plate, and we can have lens hinges separate as a separate component within this tree. So here's the lens. I wanted to hop in here to begin with so that I could sketch out where the lens is going to be based on the size of lens that I have. They do, for the record, based on my research, have 5-inch lenses. However, I believe those are more expensive. It's one of those things. I grabbed what I could. I didn't go out of my way looking for a 5-inch lens. I just wanted to get something that I could bring home really quick and get this stream and this design done with. So, that being the case, I am not exactly, and I should, you know what, we'll just extrude it out a bit. Offset. We are in front, so this way, whoops, not the offset. So, I do not know what exactly the price is. I cannot recall what exactly the price is, and the design would have to change to accommodate a 5-inch lens is where I was going with that. Minus 20, or I guess maybe minus 150. Let's go minus 150. I just want to leave some space so we can visually get the idea here. And the lens thickness is, actually, I guess I can take this out of the package at this point. Just gotta make sure I don't take the Walgreens out of the package so I can return it. One of those things, the hinges can probably be made universal, so you can just attach them to whatever size plate that you have, and then you would just go ahead and make a different plate for a 5-inch lens. And then the back plate as well, we can go ahead and make the phone holder universal and attach to the back plate so that you can just have a larger back plate for a 5-inch to match rather a 5-inch hinge. The lens hinges. I'm mixing. So thickness on this boy, now that I have this open, is 13.75, so we're going to call that 14 millimeter. Actually, no, I should keep it at the 13.75. 13.75. I shouldn't round that one. It's one of those things. The geometry here is a bit different, however, and this is the one thing I'm a little concerned about. So, yeah, I don't feel like going back to the camera at this point. The lens has one of those bubbles, one of those additional magnification bubbles in it. I don't know how that's going to screw up the projection, is my biggest concern at the moment. Unfortunately, of all the magnifying glasses I looked at that were available in stores, as in when I searched for Walgreens and when I searched on Walmart, I believe all of them had the additional bubble, the additional higher magnification bubble in there. I'm going to do a quick search on Amazon really quick, see what they got. I didn't want to do Amazon because, again, I needed this magnifying glass by tonight. But let's see what happens. Okay, so I see 1, 2. Yeah, it doesn't look like that one. All right, so they have a relatively cheap one. Actually, they have a couple relatively cheap ones that do not have the additional magnifying glass in there. They are also 100 millimeters, which, if that is the size of the lens, would make it larger than mine. Although it's possible that that's not actually the size of the lens. That's the size to the outside, in which case it's more or less about the same size as mine, about 5 millimeters off-ish. So, for the record, if you're looking to buy one yourself, again, slightly, with the exception of this super cheap one right here, I actually just found one that's cheaper than the one I got. It does have a metal case on it. So, for mine, I was between leaving the handle on my magnifying glass and using that to slide it backwards and forwards, you know, to hold, to adjust it. So that wouldn't be that big of a deal, so long as that's the case. Yeah, it's possible that had I had well, there was actually no way for me to have the foresight that I was going to need this stupid magnifying glass. So I'm not going to beat myself over that, but would have been better to get, it looks like. I forgot to check the size of the cheap one. Actually, the cheap one is smaller and only does 3 times magnification, whereas mine claims 10. Oh no, I take it back. Fascinating. So when I was looking online, I could have swore I saw a bunch that said 10 times. This one looks like it only does 2 times. So actually, the $8 one that I'm seeing here online for Amazon would actually be a good idea to get, or maybe a good idea to get at any rate. I actually don't know. Here, let me drag this over for you guys. I'm talking and it's one of those things. Not like I'm signed into my Amazon account or anything like that. I can show you guys the Amazon page. So anyway, this is the one of the $8 ones. As you can see, it says 10 times as opposed to the 2 times that mine does. One of these things where also, if the handle screws off, that's also a benefit. But before I get any more sidetracked, I'm trying to find the size of the lens. So long as the size of the lens is the same size as the one I have, then this is definitely the better one to get, assuming that that doesn't screw up the projection too bad. Lens. See. So this is a 2.5 instead of a 3.5, which mine is. However, this plastic one over here also says 5 times rather, and it says 4-inch real glass magnifying lens. So this one very well may work twice as well as mine. I don't know for sure because I've never made this project before, but I will go ahead and plant that one there for you. One of those things, assuming you don't need it immediately, which was my situation, then very well may be better to grab this one. Again, the real glass I'm assuming is going to be better than this acrylic lens that I have. And I can assume that the 5 times, well, see, this says 5 times here, this one says 10 times here. I don't know. I'm going to assume that the higher magnification power is better for the projector, but I don't know that for absolute certain. So anyway, that was our quick side research. And now back to lens plate. Project. Oh, I am not in a sketch yet. Derp. Project that out. Okay. How do I want to do this? Again, we're gonna have to handle out this side. So actually, because mine has this plastic rim on it, I actually can probably clip onto that no problem. So that's what I'm going to plan to do. So that size that I have written down there is not the actual size of the lens. That's the size of the outside plastic rim. So this is so at 83 millimeters, we have the actual plastic lens. 83. And I can go ahead and toss some clips in here. Makes sense. And we'll probably just do that with another circle. So let's just go 3 millimeters here. That's all we should really need. Although, I'm just thinking there's a little bit of a lip on it, and that's about 3.5 millimeters. So I may want to go a little bit bigger than that. Maybe do this. Maybe make it a 2-step. I'm not really thinking ahead on how this is going to print is the one issue I'm seeing here. So that is something that's going to be a little bit of a concern, and I will make this plate round for right now. That makes sense to me. And then we just need to decide. I guess I should. Nah, I only really need. Okay, remember how I was talking about the fact that we have cloth around here and that I wanted to do hinges? So if I made this a square plate or a rectangle plate, a parallelogram plate, if I did this, then that would create a solid edge for the cloth to attach to, so I can wrap the cloth around the box like this, and that's super easy. If I did a circle here and then did legs out to the corners to attach to the rods, that actually would leave gaps for the light to get through. And again, I think the idea is to keep as much light contained inside of the box as possible. So that may be a bad idea. So we may want a solid front on this. That's my intuition. Again, I've never made this project before, so I'm going to guess that's an important feature that I need to keep in mind here. And in that case, I can probably, from here, we're going to start out with just a rim to work off of. And then I will do the back plate. And then from there, I will go ahead and extend this rim out. I will extend this rim out to whatever is necessary. Yes, I do want the... So this is just the start of our plate right here, just to get an idea of where it's at, so we can project off of it for the back plate to get a height on the back plate. And then from there, we can go ahead and adjust this front plate to match the back plate. That is the point here. And I will go ahead and do the clips right now. I don't think there's any reason to wait on doing the clips. So let's hop back into that sketch and toss my clips in here. Again, assuming that I'm going to put the handle out this side, I will go ahead and... Actually, it occurs to me that the handle is going to have to come off. Yeah, because the handle would have to go through unless I put it on the outside. You know what? I can put it on the outside. So that does change my orientation here a little bit. So, all right, yeah, I'm gonna put these clips in really quick. Let's just get that done and over with because I keep on procrastinating. Let me grab this as a reference. Actually, no, I can just use the center of this tool as... I was just trying to grab some center points to work off of, but those can be that dot right there. I think it was this one was the one I just did on the other side. I just want to try to have them on the same circle. So there is some... Whoops. Wow. Okay. Alright, so there's some center lines to work off of, and now we can go ahead and toss this in here. Get a center line point to line it up with. Click that, and actually, I should be able to just rotate this around. So I was thinking about putting them all in here, but that actually makes significantly less sense. So let's just do one and then rotate it around. That is easier. The width here will be pretty minimal, I think. We can do like 6 millimeters. And you just went to the wrong place. I will delete this and drag you in instead. There we go. Alright, let's try that again. Actually, you know what? 12 is fine. 12 is fine. And let's see. The clip is going to come up the edge, so I guess we'll put that there. Okay, so. And again, my orientation here, actually, let's fix that really quick. Because I'm actually going to want to come this way with it. And that will now be a positive number because we're going in this direction. Now, we'll come back and fill in this clip. So it's just there, from object, there, distance, object, here. Okay, and then these three guys, from object, there, and we can just go 3 millimeters. And then this guy, again, going down into, around rather, that rim that I mentioned. And my depth there is pretty deep. I can actually go pretty deep with that. But, oh no, I take it back. It looks like it's pretty deep. But for the 3 millimeters out that I'm going, I'm actually only going to be able to do like 2.5 millimeters. Unless I came further out into the lens, which I don't want to do. Or not into the lens, but into the rim. Therefore, minus 2.5. We'll just stick at 2.5. And then I do have to add some geometry from object to it because the geometry is... Oh, not my... There we go. Join. Because the ring is round, so we have to go ahead and toss this guy in here. And I'm going to go as far as it wants to let me. Okay, it wants to let me go a lot. So I will stop at... I do have a fillet gauge. So let me pull the fillet gauge out now that I have one. And do a quick check on what it is. One of those things, it's not actually necessary for me to be super precise. And actually, I cannot get the larger fillets in here because the lens is in the way. So, unfortunately, we are going to just have to guess. Or, well, guess slash use my best judgment is what I was going to say, but I'm not really making a judgment. I'm just kind of saying, that looks good enough. So, the one issue, I guess it's not going to be that bad. I was going to say, this is hanging. You know, this plate will be printed on this face, so that is overhanging. However, it's probably not going to be that bad. We will have to use supports. I try to avoid supports at all times, or in all situations that I can, rather. This will not be one of the situations where I can get away with not using supports. Just going to have to be. Do we want to stick at 3 like that? It looks to me like the lens handle. I mean, if the lens is on the outside of the plate, then the lens handle actually doesn't necessarily matter which way it's pointing. So we could just do those 3. I was thinking my original plan was to go 4 and then just suppress this one over here. But it would actually, or it shouldn't actually, rather, make too much of a difference to only have 3. The last issue that I can see is just getting it snapped in and out. It may be better to, instead of that 3mm that I have here, take this down to, actually, it would not even be this 3mm here now, would it? I would actually want to toss another circle in here. Go 1.5 right here. And then finish, adjust these extrusions right here. So adjust that one, adjust this one. That should be enough. My body yet? There's my body. All right, cool. Yeah, so now that's a lot thinner. That should be a lot less difficult to get these things snapped in here. It's still going to be difficult, actually, now that I think about it. Let's see. If I went to 4 suppress, click that guy, then back to these lips, whatever I'm calling them, lips. Probably do a good enough job holding that in, so I can slide it in from the side, and that should probably be fine. Okay, I'm gonna go with that one. So we're back to the original pattern here. Just gonna make it easier to get the lens snapped into place. If this does not work, I will cry, but assumption is going to that is my lens right here. There's my lens. Yes, the dashed line is my actual lens. We are a little past the dashed line, so that's the acrylic right there. What did you just do? So we will have a little bit of plastic in the window, is what I was saying. So as you look through this front, wait, what are you? Okay, so that wasn't me the first time. Evidently. Okay, just so that we're on the same page. You saw me fix my selection there, and then Fusion decided to break it. Okay, ready? We're here. I click this. There's a hole in there. I hit OK. There is no longer a hole in there. Fusion, go home, you're drunk. What in the world are you doing? And I've got the stupid paint select on. Why does this tool even exist? Okay. Okay. Let me turn this off. Let me turn that off. Gonna do that. Deselect that. Deselect that. I'm going to select lens at the back of the. Okay. There we go. I think what was happening there, even though the picture was updating correctly, it's possible that when I was deselecting, it was changing the offset. Although, no, that doesn't make sense because the plastic was all the way out here. I don't know. Fusion was just drunk. I don't know what to tell you. So, there we go. We got this in place. We have a general rough idea of where that needs to be. So now we can design the back plate now that we have both the cell phone. Although, yeah, I should probably design the clamp really quick on the cell phone. How do I want to do that? I think I'm gonna go ahead with the back and front clamp again, like my other designs. So we got the back plate, we got the cell phone. Now we need the cell phone clamp. I'll tell you what's funny. Because I see smartphone all the time, I actually double guessed myself just now on whether or not that was how you spell, whether or not that's how you spell cell phone, because I have not seen anybody actually say cell phone. They normally say smartphone in like forever. So, project that out. That is the largest size I need, so the clamp needs to be capable of moving closer. And for sake of the argument, I'm thinking, nah, I probably won't. Never mind, I take it back. I was thinking about putting a little lip on the bottom here to keep it from sliding down. But probably what's going to happen is on the back plate, I'm just going to put a little ledge to keep it from sliding down. So instead of building the lip into the clamp itself, what I'm trying to say, instead of that, I'm going to go ahead and just do it as a separate component on the back plate. And I'm going from the top here because that should be easier to design. Let me turn the sketch off. Then we can turn the rest of this off because I don't need it now. And now that I have the projection, I don't need that. We can do that. And now we just need to draw a little bit of a clampy boy. So I'm going to start out here. Was that 2 lines? That was in fact 2 lines. Good old Fusion double line. So this is that is right angled. That is fine. We will put this at 8mm. Probably sounds fine to me. And then, yes, you can just come quinkydink with that. You can come quinkydink with that. Toss another line in here, parallel to this guy. And just come up. Make him about 3mm, and get you also like that. And finally, we can just draw a little bit of flip here. Where is my okay? There's my okay, all the way there for some reason. Offset. See what offset looks like. Yeah, it's not going to connect. We can make it connect. That's fine. So you are now just going to come all the way up here. The other idea I had for the record was I would do the back curve instead. And then offset the back curve to the front was the idea. Was the alternative idea. And honestly, that's probably good enough. So, cell phone back on. It doesn't necessarily need to be the whole length of the cell phone. So, let's two-sided symmetric hole. We're at 96 right now, so let's make it 50. And then this is going to be a new component for the right clamp, or I guess left clamp. And then we can mirror this across. Component, left mirror plane, that guy. Okay. Although, let's see. Nah, I guess that's fine. The only thing I'm going to change it occurs to me is that guy. Instead, because we need some stuff in the back, we'll make this like 6. Again, I'm going to make this similar, I believe, to my other ones. So I'm going to put dovetail in here. Although it's not going to be strictly similar, is it? No, I can make it. All right. I was going to say, because the plate is going to be larger, so on my other designs, let's go ahead and pull up one of my other designs, just for reference. Oh, no. On my other designs, the clamps are all the way on the outside, right? They don't have anything keeping them in, boxing them in. They are the edges, in other words. So you can see that there's no back plate right here, and that means that these two can slide together without anything in the way. These two pieces that I'm going to make right here are going to have to attach to a third piece. So that actually changes the math a little bit, but I'm pretty sure I can make that work. Not that. Kind of like how these two are attached to a third piece. However, you see how they're on the outside of the third piece. I was thinking that was going to be a problem, but it occurred to me that I can actually make this part right here above the rest of the back plate. So that is why I said it was not going to be that big. Let's see here. I'm gonna back up here so that we can work on this guy first, and then it will get mirrored. And just like this one right here, I'm gonna go ahead and have just these two flanges right here with a cutout for the rubber band, and then on the piece that I make, that will accept both of them on either side. That is the plan. The distance that these guys can travel will be determined by the by the length of their dovetails. So I do want to keep that in mind. So I can't go all the way to the center and mirror it. Actually, I kind of can. So what I can do is, instead of mirroring it, I could do a circle pattern around the X plane, Y plane, around the Y Y axis. I can do a circle, a 2-part circle pattern around, have the dovetails offset, and then they would not run into each other. That is an idea. How thick are my dovetails on this guy? 8 millimeters, it looks like. 6 millimeters, something like that. I'm trying to actually get the detail. Oh, I guess that is the dovetail. Okay. I'm just saying the 7.2, and that just seems like a weird number. But I suppose that is because if I remove this, you can see how I just kind of evidently made them. Let's see what it is on the inside. I'm guessing it's a little under 3 millimeters is my guess. Okay, or 3 millimeters exactly. So yeah, that's a 45 right there. So that's why this ended up being a weird number, 7.2, instead of a number that I would actually put in. So all the blah 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 out of the way, let's get that actually implemented. And was this also 3mm? Was the other question I had. No, that is a 6mm thick dovetail. Oh. Am I content with that? Let me look at the one so I have that sitting on my desk right over here. Funny thing is that it doesn't really feel thick. I guess it does. I take it back. I don't know. That still feels thin to me. Let me take a quick look. With the calipers. Oh, see, that's cool. I'm confuzzled because I have this printed out right here. And let's Control Z really quick. And then inspect this guy. Yeah, that's only 3mm. So how did I get 6mm between here and here? I didn't. Evidently I'm hallucinating. I guess what may have happened is I may have accidentally grabbed the back face, and that would be 6mm. Okay, that would make sense. Okay. Much better, much better. Okay, I understand. So let us get these dovetails in here, and I will go with that idea of offsetting. So, toss that out. Turn the other stuff off, cell phone off. We can turn the body off as well. And let's see, the back plate can be bigger, so let us come all the way up to the top then. And then this is going to be 45. Actually, no, it's not. It's going to be 60. Don't actually want you to be like that. I want you parallel instead, please. Do this is 3. Hit that. And then do I want to go this? Yeah, I guess I just want to. We can just take this all the way up here. That's fine. And then we're gonna have the cutout in the middle here. So I guess I may as well put that in there, and let's see what I did for that. That is 15mm and 15 and 7.5 and 2.5 rate. So 5mm. So 7.5 plus 2.5 is 9, 10. So 10mm to the top of the circle. Gotcha. 15, 15, 10 to the top of the circle, 5mm diameter. Gotcha. So 15. And this is also going to be 3mm. And this is going to be centered on that. Then I can go ahead and toss you in here. 60. I don't know why you guys are right angle. 60. We had 6 there. 6 and actually, you know what? Let me just put linear here and put linear here. I just realized those were supposed to be offset from the other side. Whoopsies. Okay. I forgot I need the back plate in here. This is the front, right? Turn the body back on. Yes, that is the front over side. So let's fix that really quick. That's actually not going to be a really quick fix, unfortunately, but what I can do, actually, we can fix it quickly. I take that back. what we can do is toss this guy in here, then go linear, get you guys all doinked up. Then just move you out of the way. Oh, that is what's happening here. Go in there. There we go, much better. And I can come back in here and just project that guy. There we go. And now this is 3mm right here. And actually it occurs to me that these guys, because I need to extend that, should all be, well, you do not have, you can stay as, why do I have 2 lines here? Huh. I guess I have another sketch active somewhere. There it is. Okay. Okay. So. Oh, I lost my 60s. And we can leave ourselves 3mm wall here, right here. And that's 15. And we just need to make this 3mm. No. Okay, what is unstuck? Oh, that's what's unstuck. Okay. Alright. It occurs to me that I do not have enough space here for this when this gets flipped over. So these will now get adjusted down to be smaller, and now I should have enough space when this gets flipped over to the other side. So we extrude body. Okay. I may have made some mistakes. This actually needs to go that way. Yeah. I know. So this is the cutout in this back wall. I didn't have the cutout in the back wall to begin with. So that is why we ran into this problem right now. Go. And now we toss you back in. Okay. So now we extrude that. From object, distance to object. So I did this so these guys can overlap. We are going to join. So in theory, it could go all the way here. Actually, no, it can't go all the way there because this back part is still going to be in the way. I don't particularly want to... You see how this lines up with this edge? That's what I'm getting at right now. So I don't particularly want to just have these guys floating. These dovetails floating off the edge here. I can, technically speaking, but I don't particularly want to. Point being, Although because they're offset, I could just put a cut in the opposite side. Right? Right. So. Let us see how that works out. I'm going to go ahead and try that. So this window comes from object here, 15. Okay. I guess, yeah, one of those things. That window didn't technically need to exist there. At the end of the day, I do take these all the way from the edge, right? Yes. Actually, yeah, no, I should use from object here, distance to object there. Join. This window could have been drawn on this sketch right here because I need to add this geometry anyway, this internal geometry anyway. And again, Fusion, it would be greatly appreciated if you assumed that I knew what I was doing. Linear there. Linear. Centered. 5. And, actually, I guess I just make this 7.5, right? Rather than throwing an extra center point up here, drawing a line, drawing a center point all the way at the top. It'd be easier to just do it this way. Body from object there, distance to object there. Okay. I guess what I should also do here is toss this line in here and the body off so I don't accidentally grab it. Toss this line in here. Do like 40 here. Nah, maybe 30. And then re-solidify these guys. And just cut that. I was thinking about doing this a different way, but I have currently figured out. So, project body that got a lot more complicated than I thought it was going to be, but again, because I didn't want to do it the other way, we will be doing it this way. Okay. Now we can come back up here, and instead of this mirror, again, I'm going to change this to a pattern. That should be a pattern component around that axis. Down to 2. Okay. Now, I'm going to, in order to get back to here, I can do this, put that in here. And then what I wanted to do was find, when it is correct, that with that. Okay. And this is what I was talking about earlier about just cutting these guys out. Cutting this guy out? Why can't I cut this guy out? Fusion, what you doing to me? Oh, is this because I patterned it? Tell me this is because I patterned it. Okay. Okay. We can fix it. I think we can. Capture position. We are turn the other one back. There, we just make a new body. Remove tools. Go. And now will you let me cut it? That guy and that guy, no. Oh, no, Fusion, no. Come on, it's a brand new body. It doesn't exist anymore. It's still linked. Crap. Could have swore I was so confident that this boundary full was going to work. Okay. Okay. So instead, I guess, delete all items after, please. Delete. All right. Instead, we'll boundary fill like this. New component. That guy. Remove. Don't remove tools. No. Don't remove tools. Okay. There we go. So now we have this. This should be separate. And we can take this, move body, rotate around that axis 180 degrees. Okay. And now we can back up in here, get that. And the reason I'm putting this plane in here is so that after I align these, I can move it back to that plane. Component, that guy. Okay. Capture position. Combined. That with that. There we go. All right. We did it. Keep tools. And we do the other way as well. Combine that with that. Tools. Okay. And now, once we move this guy back, hide you. Oh, no. I lied. Align body. And the reason, again, I'm using body is because Fusion actually remembers body as opposed to body movement, as opposed to component movements. I don't know if I actually screwed that up earlier. If I did the earlier line, I may have forgot to do that. But anyway, I'll cry about it. This is not cut. Huh. That is cut. But this guy is not cut. Oh, I cut part. Ha. Okay. We cut this. Let me just take a quick look. I understand what's going on here. But let me here turn off this guy. Screw these back out. There is almost certainly a different way of doing this. Actually, yeah, they're okay. We are going to back up a little bit here. Okay. The other way of doing this is 30 right here, as we know. So what I can do is instead there from object there 30 millimeters and cut. And then same thing over here from object. Actually, at that point, okay. At that point, this actually works. Because that will just get me or patterned because they're linked. So from object 30 millimeters cut. There we go. Okay. All right, now we need the back plate on this design this guy right here. But again, we're going to modify this so that it can work with this and can actually be assembled. So I can close this guy. We're not really using that guy for reference. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Where's the sketch at? I'd like to turn the sketch off. There we go. I probably am going to do this as a separate component. So, cell phone clamp attachment. And then we will boundary fill this onto the back plate. Actually, it shouldn't change. This actually should be universal for any cell phone. So, in that case, we don't need to. We can actually just make this the back plate. So, let us go ahead and draw the back plate. So, there is our lens. We want to grab that as a reference for how tall we can be. And then we want to grab these guys as references for how wide we can be. And then we can turn that stuff off. We want to get a bounding box for that. Cool, that's parallel. Very good. Thank you for once. And then after we have a bounding box, then we can put the we can put an offset in and also model out the rods, where the rods are going to be. So, here is a rod. I'm going to call it 5/16 times 1 inch for myself. Again, you can just drill that out to the full 8 millimeters. As you can see, it is very close to 8 millimeters. Actually, back to extrusion. That is a good bit bigger. I probably should just predefine for that in this case. In this one case. Nah, I take it back. I take it back. We will burn that bridge later. So, 5/16 times 1 inch. Let's give myself 3 millimeters right here of minimum wall. And then we probably want to go offset from this. I'll just offset from this. Offset minus, let's say, 10 millimeters. I'm going to ignore this one up here. I am going to, let's see. I think I'm going to put this like that. And then this like that. Yeah, I didn't really think I was going to use this top one, so that's fine. And then X to get out of construction. Again, fusion, if you would just, that's fine. I'll take perpendicular. We can then make you that and toss a center line here and have it go through this center line. Actually, I guess instead, because we want both of them, we should the center point. Okay. So, fill all that in. Let's grab the cell phone clamp. And again, I'm going to put this behind and then make another extrusion up and around. And we will offset by just a little bit. I was thinking 1 millimeter, maybe 2 millimeters. Then 3 millimeters there is fine. We can go ahead and create, actually, let me come back here. Make that solid. Finish. And from object there. I'm going to actually also, I guess, there we go. There, there. From there, we can give it a little bit of a collar to help keep it rigid. I'm going to go 12, I think, in the other direction. And then there is hole for the rod. And just get all those guys set up. Round corners. Okay. Mirror. That is boundary fill. That's why it looked wrong. I was sitting there, I was like, does not look right. There we go. All right, cool. So there's the rod holders. Now we just need the center part for the Now this guy did overlap and did go all the way up to the corner there. Basically, actually went up to this part right here, which for us is the corner. That does obviously point out that I gave ourselves on the other design more of a curve to accommodate the cell phone. Is that a problem? I don't think it is. So we are going to, actually, I think I'm still going to offset it a little bit from that wall. So in theory, we go straight here and then come across. In theory. It's possible that I should have made this a curve. Let me toss my cell phone into the holder that I have on my desk really quick. Also, we don't need this side window open right now. So give ourselves a little bit more working space. All right, cell phone going into holder. How much do I like that curve? I kind of really do like that curve. Let me grab a different holder. The other one that I used previously, the one, because that one is much looser. Yeah, that is a lot more loose. Okay, so what is the verdict? I will be holding the cell phone differently. To be fair, I will be holding it end to end, unlike the other versions, which are held around the width, around the skinny part of it. So that does change things a little bit. I guess it's probably all right. I guess I'll probably stick with it. Not gonna stick with this flat edge. Not worry too much about it. Okay, let's turn that sketch off and get up. Top. Project the back wall. Project that guy and that guy. Try to unselect that edge. Cool, there we go. Just want the face, please. Okay. That, turn everything off so we can see what we're looking at. And then see, that's only 3mm. Let me open that back up. Okay, yeah, I did not project. I was gonna say I did not project the did I? The dovetails. Dovetails are a little important. So we now have those. Forgot to turn them into construction. That's all right. There we go. And then, as previously stated, I will offset this by a little bit, about like 5. And then, so this is the dovetail. No, that's the dovetail right there. So I do want a wall in here. Linear with that guy. going all the way across. And that should be good. So, turn you back on. We are going to, where is my cell phone? Back to, I guess I'll do that separately. Never mind, I will do that separately. I could actually toss that in on the other sketch too, on sketch 2. Okay, I think we're fine. I don't think I need to change anything immediately at any rate. So from there, again, we can offset by like 1 millimeter just to give ourselves a little bit of breathing room. And distance to there. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Not distance. Distance. Just distance. We just need a 3 millimeter wall. Should be fine. We can hit join. So there's that. And then I extend it over here. Yep. Grab that sketch back. There, from object, bottom of that, distance to object, actually, I guess we're going to the center line, near it, that is 2 sides, not 2 objects. Fix you. Thank you. Then to object here. Join. And then we can grab these guys. Hit the join button. That to that guy and that guy. Keep tools. Okay. Then put them back away. Make sure nothing looks particularly weird. It does not. Do some offsets here to make sure that they actually where are you guys at right now? So yeah, yes, that guy minus 30, this guy again, I should mention that obviously this is another one of those designs where I'm going to end up with overhangs even though I don't want them. I'm actually, you know what? Yeah, okay. This is what I'm going to do. We are going to back up here and break stuff. New body. Okay. And make sure that joins to the correct body. It looks like it. Hop in there. Okay. Yep, that's fine. The body I actually want to work on. That guy. Okay. All right. The only question left. So as you can see, as I'm sure you can imagine here, I'm gonna go ahead and just share this to finish this off before I start blabbing. I lied. We're gonna put our offsets in first. New offset, please. That way, clicking on. And I'll go my minus 0.3 because these can be plenty loose. Do we need any other offsets? No, I don't think we do because everything else I included like a 1 millimeter offset on all the other places. So that should be fine. So, as I was saying, let me mirror this really quick before we get to talking. Bodies. As you most likely can predict, because it's quite obvious, what I'm going to do here is create a slot for this to plug into. Now, that way, this can be printed face down on this side, And these overhangs are nothing right here. The printer can handle these overhangs without any issues whatsoever. So that makes our life easier. The only question is, do I want to only do a couple clips instead of this full length? So the problem with doing the full length is that actually makes it harder to piece these two pieces together. You just have more room for error. Whereas if we do just like two little clips on the edges, that makes it a lot easier. And I think that's probably what we're going to do. Also, pardon me, the other question would be whether or not we want to have any actual mating features opposed to just a, you know, straight joint like this. And I don't think we do. I don't think that's necessary. So I am going to grab this guy with the back wall and toss this guy and this. That did something weird. I don't know what it. That guy and that guy. And we can just call those like 12 millimeters, let's say. I'm happy with it. 12 millimeters. And then, obviously, two ways to go about this. I can either come back to here and change how I'm extruding this, or I can just come back in here, grab the middle portion there, from object there, distance to object there. Actually, you know what? No, I lied. I lied. This is definitely easy. I was going to do it a different way just because, but that is silly. It's easier just to modify the extrusion, as I said in the first place. Alright, cool. So, combine other direction, that with that. Keep tools. And now that I am not going to have this as part, this should be its own. This is the clamp rack, I guess. I don't know. It is something. It is definitely something. The other thing that I actually forgot is we do need to cut out for the rubber band in this thing. Let us observe really quick. So as you can see, as you can see, things are not good. Things are not good. Okay. What went wrong here? The top part looks right. The bottom part does not look right. Oh. That is why the bottom part does not look right. Okay. Okay. Back up. Turn you guys off. How do I want to do this? Okay, you know what? I know how we are going to do this. We are going to... We're going to do this. And then we are going to mirror. That seems the easiest way. And then I will just update the other stuff. So that gets my cut there. That. And then, before I do the offsets, come here, add in an additional profile, which is that guy. Over here, add in a bottom guy. For the record, this does look a little thin, like here and here, but they do have the dovetails. They are slanted, so they're thicker on the backside, so it's not that big. They have some more meat to them, is what I'm attempting to say. And now we just need to add these guys, because we cannot well, we can't mirror them. We could try to rotate them and join, as we did before, but I think it just makes more sense to do this. So that, my holes in the back, send you away, turn you off, just make there. And actually, I should also put in my point. I'm going to go 0.1 instead of 0.05 here, just to make sure that we don't have any. Whoops. .1. Minus. Okay. Okay. I feel like I forgot something. I said, oh, that's what I forgot. Okay, so we still have to put the windows in really quick, but before I forget for a second time, I wanted to come back in here. Cell phone. There's the cell phone. So I wanted to project this guy out and then toss in those whatchalls I was talking about. I was going to toss in little ledges onto it so that the cell phone does not slide out. And I'm just going to make this 3. Obviously, there's some space between the cell phone and this ledge, so it can slide a little bit, but that is all right. I'm not particularly concerned about that. Finish, get back to the end here, and then extract that guy out. And he is from object. That is not object. From object minus. I guess I'm going to just do 12 again. Join. The cell phone is up a bit. The cell phone's all the way up here. The cell phone is 12 millimeters itself. I guess what I could do is I could go from object and then a 12 millimeters, which probably makes sense. Yeah, let's go ahead and just do this right. So from object there plus 12 mil. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a doofus. I'm a doofus. Object here with an offset. 12 mil. Minus 12. Oh. Okay, you know what? In my defense, okay, I wanted to have this done like an hour ago. Again, my night is way behind. So obviously the brain is just it's been through quite a bit. Okay. We're an hour and a half in. We're almost done. It's fine. It's fine. This was the hardest part. This was the only part that was going to take any serious time. The last thing to do, obviously, is to put the windows in here, as I was discussing before. So, I'm going to turn off really quick the things we don't need. And, as you can see, we probably just need to toss this in here, project out these back plate lamps as a reference. Okay. And then we only need to extrude or create a window. Turn you off, turn your body off. So we'll go ahead and use this window and this window as starting point, but we only need to go 30 millimeters from there because we know that's all it's. So I don't know why I did this. That was a little bit silly, going all the way to the opposite side. So this is going to just extend 30 millimeters. And same thing on the other side. Instead of mirroring, I could mirror. I'm going to just do this as one, one extrusion instead. My prerogative. And just because I didn't necessarily say it at the beginning, allow me to mention that Okay, that one does get a little thin, it looks like to me. But what I was going to say is, I didn't mention it, but obviously everything is kind of messy here. I don't have names on anything. I don't have parameters. I'm not using parameters. Again, I'm trying to get this done. That is really all it comes down to, is this needs to get done. And therefore, I'm going to eschew all the stuff I normally do, such as keeping things nice. Just reiterate here, obviously that says 0.8 there, but if we go to the backside, the amount of meat on the backside is actually over 3 millimeters. It's 4.5-ish. So even though it looks thin on the front side, it's not actually a thin joint, I should say. All right, enough blabbering. Just get the project done. We're almost there. Actually, I don't need to go in there. I was just going to add a little bit color. That's all I was going to do. Plastic. All right, you are beige. Like blue. Contrasting color of red. Whoops. I wish undo while you were in there would just undo the last applied appearance instead of escaping. All right. Turn the cell phone on so that it's on for later. Everything looks good, looks beautiful. Not really, but you know, I'm coping. Do I need? Yeah, I guess we may as well. Come back here really quick and toss a print offset in here. That was obviously not the face. 0.1, 0.05. I'm gonna keep it at the 0.05. And then we just need to make sure we include that here. Here. I'm just double checking this because okay, when I put the offset in there, for some reason it looked extra large to me. I guess it was just my eyes. No big deal. Okay, now. The lens assembly. We know what the size is here, so all we have to do is let's see, lens plate. Hop into lens plate. Oh, nothing is shown. That would explain that one. And that sketch needs to hide because we don't need it anymore. All we have to do is come in here, project out. Attempt to project out the right stuff. I'm trying to get this face, and I would also like these guys, that way I don't have to recreate them. Okay, and then we can project our circle just so that we don't overdraw our outside circle. Obviously that did not extrude correctly, so let's, before I do this, fix that. That got these corners right here, and hopefully this does not be silly like it was before. Okay, it is not silly like it was before. I don't see any errors, which is good. I was a little concerned that fixing that might actually induce an error. It did not, fortunately. We have all our sketches we need. So let's go ahead and hide the back plate. And do not need these guys right here. As you may notice, So again, we're going to be printing from this side. This piece is getting printed in this orientation, which means that these supporting things are also going to have to change. Also, it occurs to me that I did not include room for the set screws. However, the reason why this is not actually that big of a deal is because it is getting printed on the outside of our case. So again, our case is going to run around here, right? And this is being printed on the outside. Anything that I extrude this way is on the outside, which means that they can actually be bigger than the back plate. It may look a little bit silly. It may look like they're a little mismatched, but I am going to cry about that when I get there. Basically, what should happen here is, let's say we're going to go with 3mm set screws, set bolts, whatever you want to call them, okay, to hold the front lens in place. In that situation, I should find out that the nut is 2.5mm. It's late. I can't actually remember off the top of my head. So 3mm nut. 3mm nut. Thickness is 2.25, not 2.5. My mistake. So it's 2.25 thick, and the diameter, the outside diameter, is I believe that ends up being something like 6mm. I actually don't remember again. So I could include that kind of stuff over here on the back plate. Is it that significant? I don't think so. Yeah, I really don't think so. I do want to let us come down here, save this file really quick, and I'm going to go ahead and insert that. Finish sketch so that it doesn't get confused. This is DIY phone projector. Save. And let us come back up in here. I'm going to go all the way to the beginning. And back to fasteners. Close you for now. Don't actually want to add you. 3mm nut. Insert. Proceed. Okay. Off. Go back to work. And I did this so I can get the parameters. I am really tempted to go back and fix that. Add the space in for the 2mm nut. On the back plate, just so everything looks right. All right, you know what? I am not going to. I'm going to resist the urge. No, I'm not. I lied. I lied to you. I can't resist the urge. I'm weak. Okay. We're going to come back in here. We're going to modify the backplate. Backplate is right here. Right here. All right. So we are going to toss another circle in here. From here, this is 2.25 as previously discussed. And then we toss another wall in here. Actually, you know what? What I probably should do is I should probably just do that This is going to end up coming off, is what the deal is going to be here. This is going to be 2.25. I can go ahead and put a center line in there and click that. Attempt to click that. Go perpendicular to that. That is perpendicular. It does not look straight to me. Okay, whatever. That's fine. That's fine. Tangent here. Then toss my circle out to here. And then from there, add another 3mm offset. And then from there, tangent that. And that would be the nut width. I will have to rename that. This is thickness right here. This second circle, it's actually not entirely necessary to use circles here. I could have actually done 3mm here, which makes it a little bit more sense. I should just do this. This makes more sense. 3mm there. You somehow lost. What are you up to? Oh, you were winky-dinked on the wrong circle. That is what you're up to. Okay. There we go. We are now fixed. We are not fixed. Something went horribly, horribly wrong. Mr. Sketch? Mr. Sketch? Oh, I see what happened. I see what happened. That corner is no longer there. That is why. How do we want to solve this? So I have two options. I can just extrude the circle out, okay, and call it a day. Or I can draw some tangent lines and just have them come up. That is the other option. I think I am going to just extrude the circle and call it a day. Oh, this is not it? Oh, that is not it. Okay. Something, yeah, went very, very... Okay. You should just be that at this. Then you are the hole, right? Okay. Everything looks like it fixed. Okay. Excellent. Thank you. Okay. Great. All right, so now you want to project out. Actually, I guess I don't even bother, right? I can. Let's just use it. Okay, we project that out. We draw a 3mm box around it. So, 3mm. Actually, we already know this edge is 3mm over here, so we can go ahead and linear that, and actually not cool. Let's winky dink that, just to make it look. Okay. So, turn this stuff off, that sketch off as well. Turn that stuff off. We want to extrude everything. Except for that circle. From object, there, to object, there, and then come back to, okay, it got filed away correctly. Thank you, Fusion. You have done something well today. All right, now we can extrude this guy Actually, let us... Yeah, so all these extra circles that I grabbed earlier, at this point, because we need to add this extra geometry to it, actually does us no, unfortunately. So let's see. The nut at this point, the way I set this up, in case you could not tell, because I did width on the other side, means that it is going to face on this. The opening to the nut is going to be this way. So, the fact of the matter is that I went 12 and we only need 6-ish in order to fit the nut in there. So I'm just going to go the full 12, and then we'll position the nut further down the hole. Or maybe centered on. We could also center on it. From object there, to object there. Okay, evidently I did not do that correctly. To object there, there we go. And distance all. Flipperooski? Flipperooski. Okay. Now, important thing to note. I already have an offset in here. I am going to add another offset anyway. Also, I just realized that is not an actual circle. As you can see, something has gone horribly, horribly wrong. Okay. So, grab that as well. I'm going to add another offset, as I was saying, onto here, and I'm actually going to go 0.2. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want the front to slide freely, because we are going to be locking it in with the set screw. So, come on the side here, project out the pocket here, look at it, turn the body off, and why does this not look right to me? Let's see what happens. Where's my hex? There's my hex. Let's go parallel to this, because this should be width. Okay, no, it is just me being paranoid. Okay, we are fine. I'm just being paranoid. So, centered on that, and then toss in the bolt, which is a 3mm bolt. There we go. And I guess I don't need these to be here. We're not really doing anything with those. And furthermore, we're actually not doing anything with this either. We actually only needed the bolt hole. Okay. Good bunch of men. Distance from object here. Distance to object here. And then we can add a little bit of an offset. Oh, no, I lied. We are actually going to object here. Because, again, this is a set screw. Okay. Good, 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 good. Get this guy mirrored around. Features. This should all be it. Okay. It looks to me like everything turned out well. Actually, I should also add the offset in here just to make sure that we don't have too much problems with the nut. Actually, it's because the nut is going to be centered on the hole anyway. There's no reason not to give it a little extra freedom. So, go and get the rest of this, the other sides. Adjust. And that should be it. Just add some more color. I guess I'll take the glossy green down here. Okay. Actually, we can toss the rods in. That is the last thing we... Just to get the full assembly here. Obviously, I did not model up the... Well, I kind of did model up the magnifying glass, but that is beyond the point. Grab... Where did I hide the... There we go. From object here, distance to object here. Try to click the correct thing. There we go. New body is fine because these are not actually being printed and they're just going to be here for good looks. Chrome. Alright, you know what? There we go. On the component itself. And then mirror bodies. That guy. That guy. Mirror body. That guy. And we are now done. I can turn the lens back on just so we can see it. So, that is where we're at. Screen creates light. Light gets focused through the magnifying glass on here, and it projects. I have, again, the cloth that I will be attaching around the outsides. I kind of wanted to have an actual attachment method here. Printed in here, but at this point, I am honestly probably just going to use rubber bands because I do not have time for this. So, again, I am behind the 8 ball here on this project. I want to have the project I've been talking about for the past 2 weeks done by Wednesday. It is now Monday evening, which is why I need this printed by tomorrow morning so that after work I can get the next major part done with this. So, with this project. And then once that is in place, then the project is more or less done. In that case, Wednesday will be a very easy target time, so long as Tuesday goes as smoothly as I hope it to go. If this projector method does not work, then I am crying only a little bit. The fact of the matter is that the reason why I'm doing this projector, I'm making this projector, is because I need to draw for this project, and it would be a lot easier. Well, I need to draw and not erase is the problem. The problem is that I need to draw perfectly the first time. So the plan is to draw, get my final drawing done on a piece of paper, and then take a picture of that with my phone and project it off my phone onto the surface that I'm doing for the final project. That way I can trace the lines off the projection and I don't have to worry about it. And then it's just done, right? And I won't screw it up on the final project. So, that was the backstory on why I had to make this. I didn't actually explain that at any point, but it is now done. Again, hoping it works. And the other thing is, because I need to project this downwards, I'm a little concerned about the cell phone falling out. Again, fortunately, I will be using my secondary cell phone that I normally use for music as a music player inside of this, so it's not that big of a deal if it does fall, because it is an old cell phone and it does have a crack in the screen. So it actually has 2 cracks in the screen. But anyway, point being is that at least it's not my primary phone that I record with. That one is being used to record. So yeah, enough blabbing. Let's get this printed. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Look forward to projects coming in the next couple of days. Fun fact, for the next project that I have queued up, I am finally learning Blender. I have been saying for a long time now that I really need to learn some kind of mesh modeling software, because Fusion is not necessarily the correct tool for that. And Fusion is the only 3D design program that I know. Discounting the the idea that in theory I could pick up on shape if I wanted to. But anyway, point being is that I'm now doing mesh modeling, or at least learning to do mesh modeling. I am most of the way through my donut. I'm on, is it part 6 of the donut tutorial? We're about to do sprinkles. That's all I know. I'm at the point where we're about to do sprinkles. We have it sitting on a table right now. It has icing. We've done shading and shaders. So, and textures, texture maps. That's where I'm at with Blender. Fun fact. And again, I am doing that specifically because the project coming up after this next project that I keep on being vague about is a mesh. It is, I do want to do an artistic mesh. So. Anyway, 20-minute outro out of the way now. As always, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great and wonderful day wherever you're at in the world, and I will catch you next time.